Alright, so in the last video, at the end I mentioned we were going to fix up a couple of issues I found while looking back at the previous recordings. We'll go ahead and start with that first in mind. So within the loot chest, we're going to change the player detection collision a bit. So we're not going to need the player character cast anymore. We can go ahead and delete that. We can keep the branch. We can push this one forward a bit. We can make the comment a bit larger, like so. Let's push it a bit more back. Alright, so over here at begin play, we have the cast to the character. We can go ahead and delete that as well. And we can put this back up into the gameplay event. Let's compile and save. What we can do now on the other actor, so instead of casting, we can do is a soft node, get that in, and let's hook that up. And now we can check the soft class reference. So if we read it, it returns true if object is of type soft class, either an instance of the class or child class. And this is a alternative to casting. It's a bit slower without adding any hard references. What we can do in the soft class field, we can search for character. So anything of type character. And if you have NPCs in your game, it will also detect it as true. But we can add a small extra check here by getting the get instigator. And from here, we can say, we can also read what it does. Reads the value of the instigator, pawn responsible for damage or other gameplay events caused by this actor. So since this is mainly going to be a single player game, this works out enough, but we can also double check if the instigator is valid. If the player is valid, what we're going to do to check, let's make the comment a bit bigger so we have more space to play around in. And from the instigator, we can check is locally controlled, and the is locally controlled returns true if controlled by a local, not network controller. So this could be your player character, for instance, that you're playing as. And by having this, we can essentially avoid overlapping with any NPCs. So if there are NPCs colliding, we will ignore them with the is locally controlled. So we'll only look for the player character. And from here we can drag from the is valid, print string, and we can check if we can detect the player. So now if I go in, it's true. Pretty good. And we can disconnect we can delete the print string, get our old branch back, put that in the is valid, and hook the is locally controlled into the branch. So this now works well. It's a bit slower operation, but it still works in our case. We can copy what we just created. We can delete the character equal bool here. We can make a bit of space. so. Connect the isA soft reference node, and for the object, other actor, and for the soft class is the character, and for the target into the other actor as well. And now the isValid into the branch and is locally controlled for the branch condition. Okay, and now we go and play. It should be pretty straightforward. So interacting with it, going out, going back in. Now this works just as good, if not a bit better than the casting alternative. And now for the other issue, it's primarily the collision for the chest. So if you hold E, we open it up. Now if we jump up, we see that we go through the lid. And we can fix that as well. So going back into the loot chest and going into the chest full open, you can copy paste this set collision enabled and paste it on the unfinished chest full open. So let's say the spawn pickups trigger and do their thing. After that we can set the collision for the lid to what we had before, collision enabled, query and physics. Now if we interact with it and it opens up, jump on it, we see that it blocks the player now. We can also try to jump on it while it's doing the animation. And it doesn't seem to do anything weird with the player, at least not from the testing. And lastly, for the sound effects, if I go into content, SFX, and I'll open up chest idle loop, you'll see that I've typed LTC chest idle loop. A bit typo from my end, I meant to type LCT instead, so I'll go ahead and rename all my sound cues to LCT chest idle loop instead. No, just a simple renaming to the following, LCT, to fix that small typo. And I'll go ahead and fix that for all my sound effects. So now, heading back into the GA Interact, we will fix up the pickup sphere trace to be a bit better this time. We don't really need a sphere trace, so we can rename it to, instead of pickup sphere trace, we'll call it pickup sphere overlap. But before I actually name it, I'm going to show an example of why we're going to use an overlap instead of a trace. So by using the trace, we're just hitting one of them, so it doesn't matter really which one it is. And why we're going to swap from the trace to the overlap is just because the overlap has a nice handy auto location function, so it can make it a bit easier for us to find the closest pickup. And we're going to use the setup for the overlap so that for each overlap that is closest to you will then be picked up, and then it will go to the next closest pickup and then pick that up, and so on and so forth. And each time it will pick one of those pickups up, we'll also play a bit of sound and VFX. So that's why we're going with the overlap instead. We delete everything like so. We can drag in a sphere overlap actors. And also one of the reasons why I haven't made it so the character has a overlap, like a custom overlap, is just because we're still referencing the base Unreal character. I want to keep it as modular as possible, so any type of character can still use this ability if we add it. Getting started, we can get the actor location into the sphere position, and we can get the pickup collision array and add it to the object types. Like so. We don't need the actor class filter since we're just looking for the pickup collision object types. So we can also push this a bit forward, and we can also say, let's drag in a sphere, a draw debug sphere. So draw debug sphere. And what we can do is to firstly, in the sphere overlap actors, we can set the sphere radius to what we had before on the trace, so 200. And draw debug sphere on the center. We'll pick the character radius 200. You could put the thickness to 0.5 perhaps. Duration can be 0. The color we can put it red. So this is going to visually indicate how the sphere will look. And then from the alt hit, we can search for close or find nearest actor. And then the origin will be from the actor location. And we can check the return value. So print string, put this into the print string, display name, let's make it 2 seconds, it's okay. Let's just name it something, or actually let's put it to 0.05. Match it with the timer here. So we have the duration to 0.05. We'll name it like pick ups. That's the key. Close it, connect it to the sphere overlap actors, and then connect it into the return. Now we just want to see the names of these spheres. We could distance them a bit more. And let's check the namings. So this one is pickup 2, 3, 4. We can try to rename it a bit more. So pickup 1, 2, and pickup 3. Let's also color them. So pickup 1 would be we choose the static mesh here, we can change the colors inside the details, and let's put it to, I believe I have in the GFI core blueprints chest materials. I have a bunch of materials for the chest I can reuse. So let's say the first one is missive, the second one is yellow, and the third one is metallic-ish. Okay, so now if we hold E and close, we see we find the pickup one. Now the sphere is a bit too small, so we can maybe put them a bit together a bit more. So 0.1 for the draw sphere. Maybe also put a duration on it, so 1 second duration. Now, if we go here, we'll place ourselves closer to the emissive sphere and press E. The pickup 1 is detected. Let's go further to the right, so the pickup 2 is in distance. Okay, so now both of the spheres are within the overlap range, but I'm still closer to the emissive sphere based on the, I guess, feet distance. So if I go more to the right, it will start picking the metallic sphere instead of sphere 3. So now we're closer to the sphere 3 than the sphere 1, and the same could be said if we go into closer to sphere 2. We were still closer to 1. Now we're closest to the sphere 2, so the yellow sphere. So that's a pretty handy function we could use, and we'll keep using that. Now we need to ignore the actors, so when we overlap with them, we ignore them. So we can also here we drag all of them to be close to each other. And within the GA interact, we'll go and add unique. So from the find nearest actor return value, add unique, and let's make a connect it and make or promote the target array to list of actors to order, and we'll connect it to the sphere overlap actors to ignore array. So we could even, yeah, so we'll add an ignore to it, and then here we could say we don't really need to do anything here. We can go back a step, take all of this, put it a bit more downwards. Let's fix the position instead. So we'll take the pickup sphere trace, put it after the send gameplay event to actor from the interaction, the box trace interaction. So we can send a gameplay event to actor. No, we can just hook this up. We can delete the actor and actor here. We can choose it from the hit actors from the pickup sphere trace. We don't need the hold timer. And let's see the pickup sphere trace. Okay. Now you could also at this point, like if you drag it in here and say make array and promote this array, like promote variable, you could use this for your inventory system. So maybe if you want to store the pickup IDs or the actors of what you pick up and place them inside of an inventory system, you could do this. Or you could also do it with the send gameplay event to actor. So maybe you have like an inventory system that could listen to what actors are being fed into here, and it could add a unique for each event trigger. But for this tutorial, I will not be using an inventory system. I'm just going to make it functional without the inventory system part. So heading back into the sphere. Oh, we didn't rename it, so let's rename the pickup sphere trace to pickup sphere overlap. I'll save, so we are adding a unique and then we're ignoring it. And how that would look in game is basically like this. Let's hold E. So it was pretty fast, so we already overlapped with the emissive one, and it went to the ignore list. Pick up 2, 3, that's way too quick, so let's go to the print string and put it to 1 instead. Or let's go with 2 seconds. 2 seconds. 1 and 2. Maybe it's way too quick. Duration, let's try to remove the key. Maybe that's why it's like overriding it. Okay, so pick up 1, 2, and 3. And now can't interact with them again. And that's good because the purpose of them will be that they will be absorbed into the character some way by animations and sound cues. So let's try it again. So hold E, pick up 1, 2, 3. And let's go close to them. Or actually detected 2, then 1, then 3. And then here, we don't really need to add a delay here for the pickups. We could add the delay later on in the pickups themselves, like a random delay of when they get picked up. But we'll get to that soon. So display name print string. Okay, we can keep the debug for now. Let's head over to the well, you could also empty the list of actors to ignore in case you don't want to really fill it too much. So let's go into the event graph and place it to here. So before we end the ability, when we release, set, let's add a new array. Call it just empty actor array. Place it in here. Save. And also I forgot to do one more thing. So after like we have initialized the ability, what you could do is either, if you have like if you head into the class defaults, you can see you have cooldown. So maybe if you want to have like a cooldown or like a cost, you could set that up. And what you would need is to also call commit ability. That essentially says attempts to commit the ability by spending resources. What we're going to use is the has authority. We'll say server only. Messed up now. Let's fix it up. Save. Alright, so now let's do the pickup functionality. So within the blueprints we have pickups, so now we can actually work with them. Let's see what we can do here. We can delete everything apart from begin play. And from, well, actually we can also add a ability system component. And let's add a similar node within the chest inside of the pickup as well. So wait gameplay event to actor. Wait gameplay event to actor. Pick that up. Yet again, the actor, the target actor to self. And let's make a new event tag. So underneath gameplay message, interact, and let's listen for don't really want to activate it when like for example the chest listens for the press, and that's because we're sending the hit actor with the box trace, so we don't want to override that. So add a new subtag. So let's manage gameplay tags once more. Interact, and then within interact we can add a subtag, and let's call the subtag as pickups. So the interact will still use the press and release, but for the pickups we'll add new ones. So add new tag, and within the pickups add subtags rest, add a new subtag release, like so. Okay. Now going into the gameplay event actor for the sphere pickup overlaps, we can choose the pickup pressed. And let's see. We don't really need to send a gameplay event actor on release for the pickups, but if we eventually need it, we can add it later. For now, I think the setup is okay. Let's go to gameplay queue within the b_pickup blueprint and choose the the gameplay message interact pickups pressed. But this is going to be rather straightforward, actually. If received, let's make a branch. No, there's a better way to do this. So you know that we are spamming the interaction, so it's sort of like a loop. So instead of a branch, to not allow it to do it multiple times, we could simply press only trigger once. And we can see the difference, like if we disconnect it, we can ring, you'd say let's put it to red, or let's put it to yellow. Okay. Now it should spam by quite a lot. Did it ever receive it? The pickup sphere, interaction pickup pressed with gameplay event to actor, send gameplay event to actor. Received. So why is this not firing? I'll disconnect this. Oh, well, it's pretty obvious that it isn't firing because I haven't connected the hit actor. Let's do that. Okay. And we can delete that print string. We don't need it anymore. We already know that it does it only once. Now, and received. But you see, if I keep pressing E, it still receives events. And this hopefully works. Let's hope that it does only trigger once, that it only fires once, like the to do once node. But received, and I'll keep spamming it. Nothing really triggers anymore, which is great. That's exactly what we want. We don't need to have any extra checks in here that maybe says like a boolean, and then check if the boolean is false or true, and if it's true, then don't spam again. We don't need any of that setup, just to trigger the only trigger. We need to just apply the trigger once to true. So now what we can do is comment a bit. So let's say in here, we'll comment apply pick up, or let's say pick up VFX placer. And let's copy paste, reroute, and here on event received, cancel or destroy. This is going to be a bit different than the loot chest. Probably might need to use a different gameplay notify, but we'll get there. What we can do is just destroy VFX and play pick up sound. And then destroy VFX and play pickup sound. After that, we can hide this actor and disable its collision. And once that's done, we can set lifetime or set actor lifetime. Alright, so that's what we're going to try to do right now. So for the pickup VFX, instead of using the gameplay queue notify for it on the start, it's much easier to add the VFX here to be able to control it. Say pick up or VFX pick up indicator. Save. We'll put this in here. You don't even need to drag it in. We can just specify the. I think this one I had it to gun pad. Yep, that one. We can check in-game how it looks. Maybe too powerful, I believe. Could be too powerful. Can scale it down a bit. Pick up. Explosion, luminosity, compact color. Open up the gun pad. Let's see for these exposed variables: age, completion, current loop delay, current loop duration, execution date. Maybe it's this one. Let's put it to 15. And or we could let's just pick 50. Maximum $100. Pick here as well. 30. called the random range vector 2D within the initial particle and can't seem to find it. Oh, we'll just set it in the particle instead of the blueprint. Okay, let's check this one. Maximum 50, maximum 50. Also probably say 15 here. And in the cube trails, this one doesn't need any configuration. That looks a lot better than before. Obviously, the particles are too flat to even notice a lot. Gonna stick with this. Try to. Now we can actually keep it. So let's keep that. We can maybe let's change the VFX location. We covering most of the pickup. That. And now we don't need the comment here anymore because we have the VFX already here. But instead of destroying, we can disable VFX and play pickup sound. Spawn death cube or cube VFX. We play the sound and then we spawn the death cube VFX, and then from that we have the hide actor and disable its collision. We can also make a new function here. Hide components and disable collision. Let's go into the pickup collision. Say set collision enabled. No collision anymore. For the static mesh, set collision enabled to no collision. And the VFX, we can say, can we stop it? Let's see if we can stop it. Well, deactivate. So deactivate. And let's go ahead and also just hide it. So set visibility to none, or let's back up a bit. Static mesh, set visibility, none. Turn. Done. Bring it in. also delete that. So now when we interact, we hide the component and disable collision. We can also go ahead and try that. Now, as you saw, it was pretty quick. So you could, if you want in the pickup, add just a slight delay. 0.2. It's not the end of the world, because we don't really even care about the pickup. It could take however long it wants, because we already have the reference, and if we have like an inventory system, we're not using the pickup itself, we're using the overlap reference. So everything after the wait gameplay event to actor is mostly just visuals. So I'll put the delay here as 0.2. Let's check. So that was also way too fast. Get random delay as well. Random, oh, not the float, random range, random float in range, and we'll say the slowest is 0.2 and the fastest delay is 0.2 and the slowest delay is at 1 second. That looks a bit better. Could even try 0.4. 0.2, 0.4. Well, actually, I just realized we could do it a bit more effectively. If we remove the delay, connect it, we could go into the GA interact to the event graph, and let's just make a new timer specific for the pickups, and this will be a lot slower than the reaction box trace. Let's make a new timer, set timer by event. Let's call it, or actually let's create the event and create event custom event. Let's rename this while pressed interaction, while pressed interaction pickup. Okay, let's put the time to 1, so the delay is 1 and it's set to anything. Well, double check if we added anything else beneath it. No. Okay. So dragging this event under the interaction event. Let's drag our pickup sphere overlap, connect it. I'll save. We have an error. Right, so we need to also select the function we just created, or event in this case, while pressed interaction pickup. File and save. Let's promote the return node as well. Let's rename both of them. So interaction timer handler and pick up timer handle. Let's also get this pickup timer handle, drag it into the wait input release. Let's make some space and do the same here. Clear validate timer by handle. This should pretty much fix our pickup issue. So let's try it. Nice. We could even add a bunch more if we'd like. You can possibly even calculate how long this will take to pick everything up. So in total, it should take like 7 seconds while you hold E. It will always pick the closest to the character. Nice. But it looks pretty random as well.